And the first match of day 2 of the RLCS International Final is about to begin. I'm going to throw it over to the commentators for your first match, Leaf and Lawler.
Oh boy, do we have a match for you guys today.
My goodness.
The underdogs of the RLCS Live International Finals.
Yeah, we're going to see the battle of the two that are pretty much regarded as ones that shouldn't be here, but they're both proving a point. We see Genesis with that reverse sweep. Any who missed that series is missing out, and it was all because of Pluto. He really stepped up in that game. We have two teams that both have a defensive force, one of them being the best in the world with saves, being Dogu, and then Pluto right behind him as number 2. But what really needs to happen is we need to see their offensive players, Vogan and Espeon, really step it up.
Again, we talk about teams that just barely made it in. Flying Dutchmen during those online finals, watching from home, just seeing if they're going to get in, barely making it by on the points, but Vogan out to make a point now. He showed in those interviews how dedicated he is to winning these games.
Yeah, puts in the most drive out of any of these players I've ever seen. He is definitely determined, and he brings that to his teammates as well. He really pushes them. They practice more than any team that I have ever seen, and it's really paying off here.
Perfect. Well, it looks like these guys are ready to go. We're going to get down into the game and have Genesis versus the Flying Dutchmen in game number 1 of day 2 of the RLCS Live International Finals. And of course, we're going to stay away from predictions, I think, because this can go either way.
Nope, not even wasting my time with that.
Not even wasting our time. Wonder who's going to get it. I know the crowd feeling pretty hyped for Genesis right now. We're going to see if the energy is going to translate through into this game as these teams get underway. Waking up early in the morning to get some Rocket League going on. So we say we don't need coffee, we got Rocket League. We'll see Flying Dutchman make the first break into Genesis's end. But an easy pushback from Pluto as he's up in the air with a bounce off the shell.
Oh my goodness, Pluto!
Pluto off the bat! That was the first goal of today!
If you want to set the pace for a game, what is that, Pluto?
Holy smokes, that double tap, instantly getting up and dropping that in the net. Genesis off to a very, very good start.
They are going to use that crowd advantage here early today.
Holy smokes, we're going to see if a quick answer can come back. There is another answer. Jesse quickly entering Pluto's goal.
Very well done by the Flying Dutchman. Exactly what they needed to do. Stop that momentum before it even starts. That quick little fade to the left to make sure he takes the time with the shot, playing it over the top and tying this game up. I cannot believe we're only 22 seconds in.
We already have 2 goals from these teams. The underdogs, we'll see who's going to get the next one, but that's really critical. Getting a goal off a kickoff, as you said, can completely shift the momentum. We'll see if Vogan keep that moving forward. Dogu up for another shot, dropping it in, and there's Flying Dutchman with another one.
Really good angle from Dogu coming out over the top. That play from Quinn, big mistake playing it up in the middle. He needs someone to go and get it, but Espeon having to be the last one back on defense, not able to do so, and Dogu taking advantage.
10 seconds later, now we have 3 goals. This is absolutely ridiculous. This is a good way to start the day. See if now Genesis can flip this one around. Quinn trying to set that one up on net, but Vogan does keep that to the side. They're going to have to make a breakout, but Espeon keeping the pressure on. Quinn and Pluto on the wrong side of that. Dogu's going to be able to run down the field. Pluto does get a nose on. The touch forward, but that's to the wrong person. Jesse intercepts a play from Espeon there. Quinn now going to run it up himself. Espeon setting up for a pass, but sees this not coming. Pluto up high to the air very, very quickly. Jesse going to answer back with his own aerial, putting that off the sideboard. No real shot coming out from Flying Dutchman as Genesis is going to have to break out of defense here. Good long shot from Pluto. We know he's very, very good at putting those on target, but Dogu is in place for that.
Yeah, Pluto, one of the best at the long shots, has an accuracy percentage of roughly around 39%, and a lot of that's because of the way that his team sets him up. He sits back on defense, makes big clears, but catching people out of position is what he does best.
Well, you heard them say that. They do like that defensive strategy, getting those rotations and push out very quickly with long shots. We'll see if that'll be what they need to win this one. There's Quinn with a bounce off the backboard. Pluto up for a shot. Can he drop it in? It does go in. Defender's not in time.
We've got a tie game. Wonderful cheat up from Pluto. Recognizes Quinn getting that contest with Vogan, and it plays perfectly into the middle, getting over the top of Jesse and putting that in the goal for the tie.
There it is. As you said, tied up once again, back to where we started, but the hype is much higher than where it was at the beginning. Both teams doing a very, very good job of getting these shots on target in the net. Now Flying Dutchman looking to answer and pull themselves back forward on the scoreboard. Genesis not letting that happen. Espeon Quinn moving up. Pluto waiting for a pass probably, but doesn't really come out there. Now Dogu's going to send that clear right that down to Genesis' end. Pluto, good touch to the side. Going to allow Quinn to get a little bit more time as Jesse was ready for a shot, but Espeon back to midfield. Vogan, Dogu back on their heels as a shot gonna come from Espeon, but blocked out by Dogu as that moves back down towards her end. Good job from Quinn to keep that to the side.
Yeah, really smart play by Quinn getting up there and playing it to the side, but
That's
it's going to
gonna
get
be
answered. And Pluto rotating in to make that save. Good defense coming up from both sides of this team.
Espeon with a clear opportunity. He does get that. The follow-up boost grab. This could be a good chance for Genesis to get another goal, but he can't get it past Dogu as he moves that right down the field all by himself with a shot chance from Vogan, and he gets it over Quinn.
Good team play coming out from Flying Dutchman here. Dogu going up, showing why he's not only good on defense, but also on offense. Passes back, one defender, and Vogan clutching it to give themselves the lead here.
We're only at our halfway mark, and we have 5 goals and a hype game and series ahead of us. We have Flying Dutchman up 3-2 in the series in game number 1. This best of 5, Espeon with a touch forward, but that's going to be possession to the Flying Dutchman as they clear it easily back down into Genesis's end. Vogan with a pass to the far side, but a little bit too far. Jesse can't get anything out of it, losing possession, but Espeon losing control of his car, going to leave Quinn and Pluto back to try to defend and clear this one out themselves. Jesse, Vogan keeping the pressure on. There's going to be a shot from Vogan, a demo, scoring opportunity for Flying Dutchman, but they can't capitalize.
That was a huge play from Pluto coming out and getting that touch. If he did not, we got 2 players up, and now they got to be careful to rotate back, otherwise they're going to get punished again.
Pluto the touch forward to midfield, no one to follow it up on his team. Quinn getting boosted up, so Espeon going to move in instead. In this rotation forward on the field, the pass from Espeon to Quinn, the shot on net, but Dogu and all other defenders in net ready to stop that one. Pluto going to keep the pressure on. We're going back to midfield, passing plays from the Flying Dutchman. Dogu Vogan moved that one up the field to the corner. We'll see if they can continue it into the slot. Jesse missing a shot, but Dogu going to connect, and there it is, 4-2 for Flying Dutchman.
Shot after shot. It looks like there was a setup play like we see on a penalty kick. Vogan comes through, Jesse misses it, baits one, and then Quinn has to make a split-second decision to get in front of it, but it's too late, and Dogan gets a goal.
1:28 left, 2 goals down. Genesis are definitely showing that they can bring this back. They just need to get some more shots on net. The defenders from Flying Dutchman doing a very good job. Shot from Dogu, stopped by Espeon. Vogan intercepting that move down the field there for Genesis. Another shot, 5-2, and Flying Dutchman are on a roll.
Flying Dutchman definitely trying to run away with this one. Vogan doing a really good job getting that mistouch off of Espeon, but still, Dogu, being that defensive strength, is coming up and making plays for this team.
Now 3 goals down, 1:17. This is going to be a mad dash for Genesis. They want to tie this one up and pull it to overtime. Looking to be their best hopes right now. Vogan playing this one slow. Dogu ready for a pass, but Pluto getting there quick to intercept. Contesting is very important. Espeon trying for a tricky angle. Does get out to Quinn, but Quinn intercepted. Pluto keeping the pressure on. Jesse going to try to move that down to midfield. He successfully does as he gets it to Vogan. That's going to be a shot on net, but Jesse can't get there before Quinn. Dogu with a shot way wide. Going to give Genesis another chance to move down the field. 50 seconds left for 3 goals for Genesis. Are they able to do it? We're going to find out now, but the pressure on from Flying Dutchman. Jesse to drop this down to Dogu. Shot from Dogu, and the passing plays are real from Flying Dutchman.
Really good job on Flying Dutchman taking care of this mistake. Quinn and Espeon both going up for it. Quinn in a very awkward angle, trying to go backwards and get up for it, but recognizes that his teammate's above him. Because of the contest that happened in front, it settled perfectly down for Flying Dutchman, and they're really coming in and putting in a show.
Very good pass from Jesse to set that one up. See if they can get you on there. They're going to keep pushing. You don't want to lose momentum. You get complacent, and Dogu just off the crossbar. Couldn't put another one, but they are up 6-2 with 30 seconds left. They're feeling pretty comfy right now. Going into the next game is going to be very good for the momentum. Genesis can only hope to get a few goals to help swing them forward going into game number 2.
Yeah, they really need to look forward to game number 2 here. Kind of tough to come back with this time. The big difference has been not that Genesis isn't putting in plays. They have really good pass plays coming out. It's just the defense of Flying Dutchman is contesting them so well and shutting everything down.
Espeon just trying to get another one in there. As we said, 1 goal would really help. But that's going to be it as Flying Dutchman take it over Genesis 6-2 in game number 1. But by golly, I am not counting out Genesis at this point. They are looking really hot today.
No, we saw what they did yesterday, and they're definitely not one to count out. You saw how strong they can come back when they work as a unit, and that's exactly what they need to do. They're doing a very good job of it so far, both coming up, making strong plays, but they need to have that third man rotate back in to get that initial contest pushed back in their favor, and that's what Flying Dutchman is doing. As soon as they get that 50-50, there's another man right behind them to clear it back out.
All right, well, and again, as a team that's going to focus on their defense and using that as their strategy to break up for counterattacks, you got to make sure it's strong. You got to make sure it's strong. And right now they're giving too many opportunities for Flying Dutchmen to get passes to each other. They're letting them approach that net way too strongly, and they just got to keep them at bay.
Yeah, it's very difficult. Obviously, we say it because we're supposed to.
We're just watching.
But it's very difficult to do. I mean, these guys are in a very high-pressured situation, having to go back and forth. And that's what we talked about yesterday. Good teams adapt, and that's exactly what Genesis is known for doing. They adapt very well. The reverse sweep shows it.
Well, if that's any indication of how well they can adapt, that's it right there. But again, we say Vogan and the Enco, they're so good. They have the drive. They're going to push. They're going to just not let up. Relentless pressure from them. Expect that in game number 2. But again, do not count out Genesis as we come into game number 2 of Flying Dutchman versus Genesis in this best of 5. Each team needs to win 3 to walk away into the rest of the bracket. Loser of this going home. Who's it going to be? Flying Dutchman or Genesis? As Genesis moving in for an attack already. Pluto with a pop-up, but not where he wanted it for Espion. Espion to try to recorrect that one towards the net, finish it off himself, but no goal resulting in that as Flying Dutchman do gain control of Pluto, taking it right back, tries for a shot, a little bit too slow to that. Dogu's going to take it away from him, but Espion right there to put it out in front for Quinn. Can Quinn drop the sit? This is going to be very close. Out front, Pluto trying to recorrect. Very good pressure from him, but doesn't get it in.
I like that aggression for Pluto coming up. As soon as he sees that shot come back down, he's willing to cheat up and put them in a dangerous position, but still allowing them to actually make a play.
Absolutely, but defensive mistakes, and Jesse's going to take advantage.
Unfortunate for these guys trying to rotate out and make a play, but that demo so crucial. That last man who needs to rotate is completely out of the picture, and Pluto not able to get back in time to make that save. What a beautiful demo coming out from the Flying Dutchman.
A lot less goals than we saw this early on in the first one. Only 1 goal, but still, early goal really helps with momentum. As Flying Dutchman take the first one. Answers back from Genesis is what we need, but ball control will be what we need first. Espion taking that into his hands. No one there to follow. Jesse trying to push that forward, but does give it over to Quinn as he pops that off the backboard. Can he finish it himself? Intercepted by Vogan. Espion going to leave that for Pluto. Pluto pushing that one to the corner. No finish from himself, but Jesse gives a little bit too much room there. Does eventually get control as Pluto can't get a shot on. Back down into Genesis's end. Espion doesn't like it there, sends it right back down, boosted up. This could be a scoring opportunity for them if they get a play. Espion back to Quinn, but not a good enough flip. And Dogu's going to easy take that on his hood back down into Genesis' end.
That was really well played by Dogan too. There was 2 people right next to him, one of them being his teammate, and decides to get the angle on the ball and then jump into it. It pushes it over the teammate, controls possession, keeps it on the side of the team.
Almost him, but Pluto just getting his nose on that. We know him to be a very, very strong defensive player. Just getting in the way of that, especially Spider-Man. His Spider-Man saves are very, very good. Dogu send that back to midfield. Espion putting it right back in the high flyer, keeping a nose in the air. Quinn not going to be able to get anything real out of this. Tries to flip it back for Pluto. The pass out to center. Espion is up. Can they get the pin shot in? They tried for that. That would have been super awesome.
I like how creative they're trying to be. They understand how good this defense is coming out from Dogu and just trying to mix it up, doing anything to get it past. But the attack is what surprised me from Flying Dutchman. Normally they're a counterattack team and they're bringing the pressure.
Espion with the flip backwards. Pluto moving in fast, but Dogu does connect with it first down to Quinn. Quinn to the side as Espion going to pick this up off the ground, letting Quinn get boosted up. Espion with a little bit of a whiff, going to give Jesse a chance to center that one. Pluto up again so quick, almost finishing that off, but it looked like he was out of boost there. And that's going to go back towards their end, and that's going to be in. Dogu with another 2.5 minutes in and 2 up for Flying Dutchman.
That's the counterattack I'm talking about. You see all 3 players up for Genesis, having to hustle back as quick as possible, but a big clear on net is exactly what they needed to do to give themselves a 2-goal lead here halfway through the game.
And 2 goals is much better to come back from than 4 as it was in the last, and they are still doing good. Espion just needs to get some better touches, I think, and they will be absolutely golden to pull this one back. But Flying Dutchman moving in for an attack, not even giving them a chance to pass to each other. Espion to the wrong player. Vogan going to send that right back in, give his teammates some time to boost up and get ready for another attack as Genesis do move in. Quinn losing that to Dogu, but Espeon taking advantage off the backboard. Quinn going to be in a bad spot to try to finish that one off. Pluto with the intercept. That's going to be on target. Espeon, can he finish this one off? He does, almost! Dogu just getting in the way of that one.
That is why he is the best defender in the world at this game. Look at that rotation coming out and making a save.
Vogan now trying to get another one as they create their counterattack, but Dogu going to stop that from even passing midfield. Genesis has a minute 40 now to score 2 goals. Pluto trying to be the one. Not hard enough to get past Vogan. He's just going to keep that at the wall. Very, very good control from Vogan as he moves this back down towards Genesis. Goal in front of the net. Dogu going to try to get that off the backboard. Jesse missing out on the shot there. Pluto going to move this down. They need to move quick if they want to take advantage of this push forward Flying Dutchman team. They're not going to be able to squeeze it by though, as Vogan and Dogu do make it back in time.
This Flying Dutchman team rotating back so well on defense. As soon as they make even one mistake, all 3 of them hustle back and just put up this brick of a defense.
My goodness, is that going to go in? What? Espeon, what a touch from the Pluto bounce pass.
I am so sorry, I take it back. What was that?
Goodness.
2 people up and not getting punished for it is Genesis, and a beautiful tap from Espeon to put that into the net and bring them within 1 with 1 minute left in game number 2.
I didn't even say anything, so I'm like, there's no way that one's going in, but it did. What a play from Genesis. They need only 1 more with a minute left. This is a lot more comfortable than where they were before. Can they do it and not be down 2-0 in the series? This is very critical to tie this one up. It's going to feel good going into the next one if they can take a win. Pluto almost getting a finish on that. Quinn, good pressure there. Espeon the third, going to put some pressure on himself, but he sees Quinn taking that himself. No one missing that, or hitting that one. Everyone missing that one. Quinn with a shot on net. Espeon, can he flip it up? Almost over Vogan. Vogan does get the touch on to keep it out of the net. Quinn trying his best to just direct that.
Oh my goodness,
Jesse getting in the way. That was so close. 30 seconds left. And Genesis doing everything they can to put this on Quinn and Vogan. Can he get the touch? Almost out front, but no one there to finish it off. Flying Dutchman trying to keep this attack at bay. But oh my goodness, the shot from Espeon. Still missing this pressure. Unreal from Genesis right now, but finally back into their end. They have 14 seconds to make a break back. Create an attack they've been doing so well this past minute of gameplay. Pluto, soft touch aside, give it to the Vogan, but Quinn has one more chance to get the pass out if he gets a read. Espeon, a chance, a shot on net. Out front, Pluto trying to get the read. Espeon is going to keep this alive if he can, but that's going to drop. And it looks like, once again, Flying Dutchman. Only 2 players, look at that. But I guess it's going to be a restart. We did lose we saw this yesterday, lost another player, but we're going to restart this match. So it's, I guess, another chance for Genesis.
That was insane. I think these guys realize how they need to play. You see the back and forth between these teams, and Genesis just unbelievably aggressive. And it's working out. They're keeping them on their back heel, and that's what you need to do against teams that do like to counterattack. Is if you can keep applying the pressure on them, you're gonna get a fan base like this cheered for you.
This crowd is strong, and I think they're feeling the momentum from that last game. They're feeling how well they were playing. That last minute of gameplay from Genesis was unreal. Okay, apparently we are moving on to the next game, so it is still going to be 2-0 for Flying Dutchman, but that energy they just got from the crowd is going to help them push forward. We've already seen them do a reverse sweep.
Are we going to see it again? Are we going to see the reverse sweep again? They already knocked out what's touted as one of the best teams, the Power 3 Mocket EU, out of this after a reverse sweep. But can they do it again? I am so excited to find out.
Well, I mean, yesterday we saw them start their steamroll forward, and it's looking like they're starting that again.
Yeah, it was at the end of that second game against Mocket that allowed them to kind of start gaining that momentum. They adapted accordingly, like we talked about, and found that characteristic that allowed them to win the game. And then they just came back and won with a vengeance. They got up early and then held out the lead with their defense. I'm curious to see if they do that yet again.
I don't know if my voice can handle it.
I hope so.
I was flipping out yesterday when that happened. I'm going to flip out again if they do it again, but we'll see. As we come into game number 3, Flying Dutchman versus Genesis. Flying Dutchman up 2-0 in the series. A reverse sweep has to be had, but Dogu getting blocked out by Jesse there. The team bump going to give Genesis a chance to keep that away, and they do. They just need to recorrect themselves. A little sloppy on defense right now. Can they make the push out to recorrect? Not quite. See if they can finally recorrect themselves as Pluto keeps that to the side. Jesse, Vogan, Dogu keeping the pressure on though for Flying Dutchman. Finally a breakout opportunity, but Pluto losing control of that ball. Espeon taking it right back.
Really smart contest by Espeon. taking advantage of getting up quick. So for those that don't know what a quick aerial is, jumping, boosting, and then tilting back and jumping again allows you to get up very quick. If you wouldn't have done that, that ball would have went right over and put them in a very dangerous spot.
What a shot
Pluto's
from
gonna go
Pluto!
down and get a goal for
And there
Genesis.
it is! Genesis with the first goal, and I think this is how it started yesterday.
Dogu cheated up really hard there, and that touch from Pluto hitting the ground first to bounce over him is what made that all happen.
Oh my goodness. Starting to get chills myself if they can pull this off and get room for a sweep, but Flying Dutchmen not to be counted out. They have the drive. Dogu with the shot. They answered one quick in the first game. We'll see if they can here. They cannot. Pluto moving down the field, but Vogan, Jesse looking poised to take an attack themselves. Vogan out to Jesse. Jesse with a shot, and there's the answer. 1-1, Flying Dutchman, Genesis.
Beautiful pass play from the Flying Dutchman. Vogan taking this down to the corner, ball coming off the wall. Quinn needed to contest that. He needed to get up and get in the way because there's a free bounce into the middle for Jesse. Very dangerous spot, and Flying Dutchman tying it up.
There we go, the answer, but we'll see if now Genesis can keep this momentum on their side and push forward. Quinn, very good read on where that ball is going to go. Keeps possession. Pluto missing out on that, though. Espion going to have to clean up the mess. The shot off the crossbar. Quinn, the follow-up. Jesse does keep that out of the way. Espion, the pass over to Pluto, but Pluto a little bit too far away from that. Missing the boost as well. Just going to have to try to chip that as best he can towards the net to keep Flying Dutchman at bay, but Vogan moving in hard with Jesse. No chance for them to score, so Dogu has to move in. Espion moving forward. Quinn up in the air, a little bit too under it, but it pass to nobody is going to be Jesse intercepting that. Pluto, Espion on defense. Can they keep this one out? Jesse with the bump, but Espion does manage to get the touch on that one. Quinn moving forward to keep possession. The roll up the side, not going to be far enough to get in front of the net. So Vogan, Dogu going to be able to push this right back down into Genesis end.
It looked like Quinn wanted to keep carrying that too. He just landed very awkwardly and completely skidded out of control. It completely stopped the momentum, but they bring it right back and see if they can answer.
The back pass from Espion to Quinn, and they're back in the lead.
Oh my goodness, Genesis, what are you doing? What a beautiful play by Espion, recognizing there was someone on defense. Plays that perfectly off the backboard, brings it back down, and Quinn shadowing that hit to give them the 1-goal lead.
Absolutely, and what a smart play to not just shoot it at the net, pull the defender out, and then get a better shot from your teammate. Now in the lead, 3 minutes left, a lot of time for this match yet for Flying Dutchman to bring an answer to that goal. We'll see if they can do it as they try to move on the attack, but Pluto and Quinn keeping the pressure on as they try to get another one, but Vogan ready for a shot here, a little bit too off, and gonna give Pluto a chance to push that to the side. Dogu, boost starving, could be a bad spot for it. Genesis, if they don't break out right now, they do finally, and that's what they needed to get boosted up and ready for another attack. Espion trying to push forward, but Vogan does intercept. Pluto pushing that right back to the center. Dogu now pushing to the side. Quinn, Genesis making an attack and keeping Flying Dutchman now on the back heel.
Despite being on the back heel, Flying Dutchman is coming up and stepping up to the plate, making sure these shots get shut down. But passes like that from Quinn and in front of the net in a dangerous spot, still plaguing this Flying Dutchman team. They need to get a big clear and give themselves a chance to score.
That pass not going the right way. Dogu getting a little tripped up there. Quinn's gonna now have a chance to push that to Espion. Espion trying to dunk that underneath Jesse, but Jesse does win that 50-50. Pluto pushing that forward. Can he get the shot? He tries to. Little off target, and Jesse's gonna be able to keep that to the side. Quinn keeping the pressure on these rotations very strong. And Pluto, Espion so quick to the air to be able to get shots on net. The follow-up from Pluto as he tried for a tricky shot off the wall. Now they're gonna watch out as they are gonna have to move to defense. The pass out front, intercepted by Espion. Very good defensive plays from them as they move back on the attack. Espion to chip up, watch the demo, almost Dogu getting that on him, but Vogan gonna have a chance now to push that back down for Flying Dutchman. Approaching a minute of gameplay left for Flying Dutchman to pull this one back, or Genesis is going to be able to stay alive in this series. If they lose this, they're out. Vogan trying to drop that in, but Genesis keeping themselves alive.
So much back and forth, and you see Flying Dutchman realizing they're down by 1 and noticing the time. They're doing such a good job pressuring. They're moving up, they're taking hits, and they're applying shots, but Genesis really stepping up on defense compared to that first game that we saw. Everything back and forth.
Almost in as the Flying Dutchman almost tie that one up. Genesis just staying alive. 44 seconds left before they give it this good chip from Pluto. No follow-up though from Espion. They're gonna wait for the backboard bounce in front of the net. Espion trying to get another pass out to Pluto. Feels backflip man. And now we have Dogu Vogan moving back up the field for a counter-attack. They have to push this in if they want to win this right now. Jesse with a shot. Pluto with the stuff. This is at midfield now. Quinn lobs out with a shot to the far side. Dogu keeping that away. 20 seconds for Genesis to keep this alive, but Flying Dutchman looking to win this. 3-0. Can they do this right now? Jesse with the pop-up, but Quinn, the stuff off the hood. Pluto now with ball control. Loses it though, that's gonna be Dogu, but he actually gives it and takes it right back from Dogu in front of the net. 4 seconds left. Flying Dutchman don't get a goal now. This is gonna be it. Genesis will still be alive, but this is scary right now. Almost in front of the net. Genesis still alive, and is this gonna be the reverse sweep?
This is the Genesis we saw yesterday, coming back in the clutch to close out a game. They go up by a goal and then shut out this team on all sides of the field. They are looking confident today.
And just to clarify, I guess there, because of that, some people may be questioning, during that technical issue, Flying Dutchman actually decided to carry on and not reset. So it was their decision. They had won the match. And so that's why we moved forward. And now Genesis, pretty happy with moving forward because trying to go for another reverse sweep.
I can't believe they're doing it again. You see all members of this team, and Pluto, big shout out to Pluto. We've been watching him grow since the beginning, and he has really stepped up. He's really coming into his own and recognizing that this crowd is in his favor. He is playing out of his mind and making touches that I just don't expect him to do. Like that pass he had inside, he rotated his car at the last second just to put it down in, and this crowd is loving it.
That old school star, Plutonium Falcon, coming out, and he's showing us why he's here right now. Again, we watched him, as you said, through so many community events to get to this point, top 8 in the world, and Genesis is not giving up yet. This next match going to be a doozy, as Flying Dutchman, as we keep saying, have so much drive, and they showed it. They did not give up. At all.
No, and that's something commendable about this Flying Dutchman team, is they have been the underdogs for so long. Everybody in the community thinks that other teams should be here in their place, and they're proving everybody wrong. You heard Vogan say it in his interviews, like, just watch, we're coming for you. They're playing so well, they're getting up in their face, and they're trying to dominate this as much as possible with their captain, Vogan, stepping up to the plate.
Game number 4, Flying Dutchman versus Genesis. We're going to see if we can get another reverse sweep from Genesis, but Flying Dutchman looking to shut them out in this game and get the 3-1. We'll see right now. But Pluto and Espion on the attack early on. They want that early goal to get that good mindset, but they are feeling good right now and looking good. Espion pushing that forward, but possession over to Dogu. Jesse moving up. Shot on net. They're going to leave that one as they try to reset themselves. There's Quinn running this up the field. The dribble, can he get it past Vogan? Does stop that one out. Stuffs him from any dribble attempt. Espion up the wall though, pushing forward. Control over to Quinn, but they lose ball possession, but they are not giving up on pushing this forward. Slowly but surely, making their way downtown towards that other end.
I don't even want to justify that reference you just made. I'm so upset with you right now.
Quinn now with pressure on, moving forward, all boosted up. Pass going way too far for Espion to do anything with it. There's Pluto off the backboard. Quinn ready for it, but Pluto himself moving in, trying to get what he got off the beginning there. Quinn, a little bit of low of a chip, going to be easy for Vogan to stop. Dogu going to pick that one up, moving forward past Espion, but not Pluto as they go for another attack. Espion trying to get in the way that clear attempt of Jesse, but Jesse does push forward a bit. Quinn with a shot on net, that's going to be off the crossbar, and no finish up there, but Espion trying to get the pressure on as they did have that in front of the slot. Pluto now going to have to clean up this mess as they get towards their own end.
This is where Flying Dutchman is really strong, the counterattack. You see how well they move up as a unit and then apply some pressure, but kudos to Genesis. They're doing a really good job of reading that play and then attacking with some aggression, because when you move up as that full unit, it leads you defensively in trouble, and you see these shots coming up from all sides of Genesis.
But holy smokes, has it been a Genesis pressure show since the beginning of this match. 2 minutes, and we've spent a majority of the time in Flying Dutchman's end, and we are still there as Genesis looking so hard for this reverse sweep, and they are showing that they are going to deserve it. But Quinn almost getting the pass from Espion. Pluto keeping this alive and just contesting everything, and that's been so critical for them.
Flying Dutchman trying to do it too. You see him meet in the midfield. Dogu didn't get the ball, but he knocked the possession man out, put him way back in field, and it's been battle in the middle so far. We just haven't seen too many direct shots, and that's good. They need to get creative because both sides have a very good defensive player.
Dogu with a shot on net though. That's almost squeezing in. Defense just keeping that one out. Espion clearing that to side, so not another shot can come out. And back on the attack, they are. Espion going to leave this one though a little bit too at bay there, too passive, and that's going to be back into their own end as Flying Dutchmen start to put on an attack themselves, but right back out of their end. Espeon tries to get that Quinn out of the play. Pluto gonna have to set that up for him. What a good clear from Pluto. If he can follow this one up, the demo from Quinn. This could be a scoring opportunity. Pluto goes for the demo on it, and Quinn gets the shot. What a play from Genesis.
Just like you said, that demo is huge from Quinn coming out, and then Pluto getting in the way of that last man back of Dogu, and that able to swing around and get a goal with 2 minutes left. They have to win this game to stay in it.
Holy smokes, Genesis. Can they do this? Flying Dutchman not gonna make it easy though, as they're looking to answer this one off the kickoff. It's where they need to do it. They have control now, but all boosted out. Espeon gonna take a shot on net. Jesse getting in the way. Now Pluto keeping some pressure on there. Futile attempt as it does head back towards the midfield. Bogan off the backboard. Dogu ready for the shot. He's up early, but a little bit of a weird bounce. Almost getting the wheels on that one to roll it into the net, but still in a dangerous spot for Genesis. Too far of a shot from Bogan there, and Espeon going to be able to push this back to midfield. Touch up for Pluto. Pluto off of Espeon into the other end. The pass out, but no one there to connect with it. Bogan going to be able to get a good clear out of this one. On target too. Espeon has to clear this. He does get the touch as Pluto moves back on defense. Recognizing another shot coming out of Jesse. Quinn Lobdell off the corner. Pluto to follow it up. He does get the touch. What a play from him. The long shot. Is that going to roll in? Jesse just getting there in time, but Quinn almost getting the stuff.
Yeah, this ball's going to settle still in a dangerous spot. And demos coming up from both sides. These guys are getting so aggressive, not only on the field, but on each other, trying to control any pace whatsoever as they go back and forth.
What is happening with Genesis? They're playing so good. 46 seconds left. Quinn just missing that one. They just have to stay alive, but they are not letting up on pressure whatsoever. We've spent almost all the time in the Flying Dutchman's end, and they're still there. Pluto rotating quick in to keep that one in. Quinn ready for that push to midfield and pushes it right back in. Bogan to the side. Quinn pushing that in front, but Pluto's not going to have a chance to put that into the net. Espeon to the front, or the center. Bogan gets that clear. Jesse trying to follow that up. Quinn going for the demo. Playing very aggressive, was a very smart move, but doesn't quite get it. Now Pluto and Quinn up on the push. 10 seconds left. Flying Dutchmen have to tie this one up to go to overtime. If they don't want to go to game number 5, this could be their chance right now. 5 seconds left. Dogu with the bump, but he loses possession because of it. That's probably going to drop now. Dogu can't push it forward. Quinn Lobdell pushing that more towards the mid. Pluto going to drop that down. No, but Vulcan keeps it alive. That's going towards Genesis end. This could be scary. That is going to drop. No, up the corner. Espeon ends up keeping it alive. Scary spot for them. There's a touch from the defender. Roll down. Vulcan still keeping it up. 0 seconds. If this touches, it's down. There it is. Genesis pulls it back. We're going to a game number 5.
The battle of the bottom 4. These guys are still the top 4 in North America, but have been regarded as the underdogs this entire tournament. Nobody planned for them to come in and make this. Like, what is happening? And I don't know what it is about Genesis, why they are able to make an adaptation and come back. What is happening?
What is going on? Reverse sweep yesterday. They're looking for another one. This is going to be the story of the RLCS right now. If they can pull 2 reverse sweeps against these teams.
Everybody has counted these 2 teams out. Nobody planned for them to come in and be able to make it this far. And now we have these 2 underdog teams battling it out between each other, showing exactly why they belong here.
And no matter what happens in this next game, you know there are so many fans of Genesis at this moment. They are showing such a strong game right now. But again, it was not easy. Flying Dutchman putting up a very, very good game against them. And this can honestly go either way. But holy smokes, momentum. Momentum is in favor of Genesis right now.
The big thing that happens now is you have your captain on your team consoling your teammates. For Vogan, guys, we won the first 2. We can do it again. We know what they're doing. We need to stop it. For Quinn, we got this, guys. 1 more? No, 3 more. He said it yesterday. Espeon, super confident. He is getting this team involved. They need to do everything in their power to shut these 2 teams down.
Alrighty, game number 5. Flying Dutchman versus Genesis. This is it, do or die. One of these teams is going home today.
Oh,
as a shot from Dogu, quick, early in.
I do not know the defensive breakdown that just happened there. It looks like Pluto missed the shot off the wall, and Espeon just caught out and then bumped out by Vogan.
There it is, quick early goal, and that's what you have to do to start this off right for your team. Flying Dutchman looking to start things off right. They do. First goal 10 seconds in their favor. We're tied up in this best of 5. As we said, one of these teams going home. It's going to be Genesis or Flying Dutchmen. As Genesis move forward, doing exactly what they did last game, trying to keep the pressure on. There's Pluto, the follow-up, taking that away from Flying Dutchmen. The second touch, what? Holy smokes, what a touch off the back end of Pluto, but doesn't connect with the back of the net. Quinn Espion moving that forward, very quick to the ball, but Dogu getting that push back towards Genesis's net. Quinn boosted up and ready off the wall, but that goes a little bit too far away from him. Espion does leave it for Quinn as he takes a shot on net. That's going to be off the post.
Oh,
Not making it in, though.
That shot was so well placed, just barely wide, bouncing on the middle. There needs to be someone on the other team either clearing that out immediately, and good job by Flying Dutchman recognizing that, but I don't know where this aggression from. Oh no, it's going to sneak in again! Jesse getting the goal.
Gets credit for that one. 2 goals a minute in.
Getting up very high in that wall and pushing it off the net, just getting a lucky touch from the help of his buddies over at Genesis to secure a goal. We are 1 minute in. Genesis has shown that if they get the lead, they can hold it, but Flying Dutchman has been a little shaky back and forth.
Oh, but Genesis is still looking good right now. Just an unfortunate touch from Espion to put that one in their own net, but in another attack from Flying Dutchman, the pass from Dogu not going to be out to Vogan. Not far enough, but they're trying to keep the pressure on as Pluto ready for a shot here from Vogan. Up too high, but Dogu to finish it. All 3 of Genesis up to for that one. Very dangerous as Jesse moves into another pass opportunity. Vogan trying to squeeze that past Pluto, but can't quite get it in there. Now a counterattack. Can it come out from Quinn? But he loses control. Espion missing that one too, leaving Pluto by himself to stop this shot from Jesse. Does stop it now. Espion trying to keep that ball moving forward. Does get a nice little touch forward. They have to keep the pressure up now though if they want a scoring opportunity. Off the backboard, no, Pluto does get the touch. Push that to midfield, can he keep control? Jesse popping that one over his head. There's Dogu ready for a shot, but he got up a little bit too early. He's gonna be out of the play now. Pluto just pushing that to the side as they want to try to keep control and get this pushed out with a nice clear. Quinn with the ball now. Can he get it past Dogu? Dogu does read that one high and goes around him. Espion with the Spider-Man back to the corner. These guys having a little bit of trouble getting out of their own end. As long as they can get it clear, though, they should be able to get a scoring opportunity. We've seen them do that through this series, but up 2-0 still. Approaching the halfway mark is Flying Dutchman. A demo. They're going to give Dogu a chance to shoot, but he does miss on that ball. Pluto now trying to stuff that pass, getting the side of his car on it, but it does not go in his favor. Finally, a roll around the midfield. Pluto trying to move forward, but not the touch he wanted. The second one, Vogan trying to read that, doesn't read it right. The pass from Quinn to Pluto, but a soft shot. Going to be an easy save for the defenders of Flying Dutchman.
This Genesis team doesn't seem to be able to make the touches they were in the previous game. They need to settle down and become comfortable with what they know they can do. They already proved to us that they're capable of a reverse sweep.
Oh,
that save
from Espion!
Getting in and jumping to the right side to get behind that ball, using that this is a physics-based game, and knowing exactly what he needs to do to make that save.
Now we have Genesis on the attack. Espion, that's going a little too far, but he drops it down. That's going to be just off target. Pluto the follow-up, trying to keep the pressure on, not letting Flying Dutchman break out of their end, as this could be at 2 minutes left with 2 goals. They're going to want to score one very quickly if they want to feel comfortable in that last minute. Try to bring this reverse sweep back. Now we have Quinn and Pluto moving forward. Quinn out for boost. Espion's going to need to be up to support Pluto. Pluto trying to carry that in himself, but Vogan stuffing it out. Now on the counterattack, we have Flying Dutchman. Can Jesse get it past Quinn? No, he can't. Good. Pinch clear coming out for Genesis as Espion takes a shot off the post. Pluto a little bit too short on that one to drop it in and finish it off. Now Flying Dutchman pushing back to Genesis end. The committeds to that ball right now, a little bit too far forward for Genesis. The pass out to Dogu, almost a dangerous spot, but Pluto losing control. That one tries to regain it, but Jesse does not let him in. A minute left. This is close.
That could have been Genesis's chance to get their first goal. You saw Pluto had a breakaway opportunity, but it just caught him off guard, playing a little bit too quick, and that's where that settling needs to happen. These guys are playing so aggressive, but the Flying Dutchman has kicked it up to a whole nother level.
Dogu off the backboard, there's a scoring chance for them. That's actually just gonna go in, and 3-0 for Flying Dutchman. Not looking good for Genesis.
This shows the integrity of this Flying Dutchman team. After losing 2 in a row, the momentum definitely in the favor of Genesis. They come back and answer strong with 3 goals. We have 50 seconds left. Winner take all.
This is it. If Genesis do not score 3 goals, they are going home, and Flying Dutchman will move on. And as I said, this was not going to be an easy match for Genesis, even though they pulled back 2 games past Quinn. Flying Dutchman trying to put on another attack, but they need to break out. 35 seconds left for Genesis to get some goals. 10 seconds to go, going to be very, very difficult, especially against this Flying Dutchman team right now. And the way they are playing, They are not letting up on pressure in front of the net. Espeon missing that. They need to get control of this ball. They just can't seem to get possession as Flying Dutchmen keep trying to take it back. We're going to move forward. A passing play almost on target from Genesis. 14 seconds left for 3 goals. Going to be very hard, but I believe still. We'll see if Flying Dutchmen can keep them at bay, though. Back in their own end. Not looking good. Dogu with a bump, just trying to kill time right now. They're up 3 goals, and that's it off the backboard. This is looking like it's going to be it. And Flying Dutchmen going to take it 3-2 over Genesis.
Oh, make that 3-1.
3-1. Commentator's curse. It always happens.
Oh my goodness. And that's just a little consolidation goal at the end. A big shout out to both these competitors, but Flying Dutchman showing why they are going to win the LAN in Vogan's words. He is coming back so strong and carrying this team. Both of these teams playing out of their minds. But congratulations, and look at this Rocket League community. These guys, friends and players, everybody coming out, showing that they love this game. What great sportsmanship.
And again, props to Genesis. They are now out of this tournament, but props to them. As we said, we've seen Pluto from the beginning of these tournaments we've been in before, and we're seeing them at this point, and I fully expect to see them again.
Yeah, you see these guys battling it out. They did such a good job. Everybody playing a crucial role. Just Flying Dutchman putting a little bit too much for them to handle.
Yeah, Flying Dutchman playing very, very good. And again, that's that drive. Vogan is like, we're taking this, dude. We're taking it. But
I believe.
Again, almost so close. What a showing. What a showing from Genesis. Almost pulling another reverse sweep. Absolutely incredible. I mean,
beautiful.
What do we expect from the rest of today if that's how we started it off?
It was the same thing as yesterday. Everybody's like, yeah, it'll be cool, it'll be good. And then these games come out, everybody's like, wait, why are these teams playing in the loser? What's happening? And then today we start off with that goal from Pluto, and then it just keeps compiling from there. Like, what is happening at the RLCS International Finals? I have no idea.
Well, we're gonna find out with Golden Boy, as he's got, as you said, the best defender in the world down on the stage with Dogu.
Thank you, gentlemen. Dogu, congratulations on a hard-fought victory. You guys looked very strong in games 1 and 2, but then Genesis were able to rally back, and we were getting a little bit of a deja vu moment with Mocket in their previous series, and no one knew what to expect. But you, I believe according to Gibbs, you scored more than half of your team's goals. So you had quite the performance. How does it feel to finally put this one aside and move on to the bracket?
It feels pretty good. After game 2, we were like, okay, we got this win. But then we lost 2 in a row, and we were like, we're gonna lose. And then Vogan was like, okay, just watch your rotations, do everything as we used to do, and then we just won.
So you guys just stuck to the plan. That is interesting because I've been doing these things for many, many years, and I've never heard someone just blatantly say, we're gonna lose. That was just you. Okay, fair point. All right, so you move on, and when I talked to Vogan before, he said you guys were gonna win the whole thing. No one gave you guys a chance, basically saying that you were not in that top 3, the Mocket Flipside, Northern Gaming group coming out of Europe. What do you have to say for those doubters now?
Well, we're here now.
Indeed, they are. Dogu, thank you so much for your time, guys. Give it up for Dogu, the one and only. Go ahead and get your stuff. But that is going to do it for me down here at the stage. What an incredible series that was. Now, in order to progress this show on, we got to break it down. So let's go ahead and toss it over to our analysts.
Thanks so much, Golden Boy. What an epic series to start the day. Of course, the Flying Dutchmen showing their dominance, going up 2-0. And then we're like, wait, is it happening again? Is Genesis going to come back and win? Not quite.
Luckily they didn't, or else James might not be here.
Even still, that was just an incredible series. Seeing the reverse sweep almost happen, but then the Flying Dutchmen come through in the clutch. And really, at the beginning of this tournament, no one gave Genesis or the Flying Dutchmen a chance. And the Flying Dutchmen, through sheer will, even after placing 5th in both of the qualifiers before this, have come out and placed top 4 on the biggest stage Rocket League has ever seen. So huge congratulations to the Flying Dutchmen for making it this far.
And they're not done yet. They still have more games to play. They could easily win this. I will believe Vogan to the day I die.
Let's get into that Mobile 1 high-performance replay to see how exactly it played out again. Starting out with Flying Dutchman on fire.
Flying Dutchman, 6 goals in game 1, but Pluto started it off with a great double touch aerial off the wall. Beautiful shot here, and that's what the spark that Genesis needed, but then the Flying Dutchman just came out really strong after that.
Especially in the first 2 games. Anytime that Genesis got something going, almost instantly the Flying Dutchman answered back.
And Dogu was all over the field, getting so many goals right there. The pass to Jesse, great location on the shot for the near post. And then just on defense, like the Flying Dutchman just holding it down.
But again, Genesis just could not get their offense going. Even in the games they won, it was 2-1 and 1-0. That one, though, I think that was the only goal scored for Genesis right here. Quinn just having that open net and that bump from Pluto, opening that one up.
Yeah, Quinn's just a big bully. That's all he is. But here, Espion, just unfortunate own goal. He thought it was in on that near side post and just tipped it in, and that really set the tone for Game 5. It's hard to come back from that, and they just couldn't do it.
Of course, that means Genesis will be out of the RLCS International Final, but I'm sure we'll see them again in the future. A great team, a lot of great spirited guys on that team. And now I want to give a huge shout out to the MVP of that match, Dogu.
Dogu, yes, I can imagine the meme being spammed in chat right now.
Lots
Just
of dog emotes.
Dogu, yes.
Lots of
but
dog
he really deserved it. He's the youngest player on the Flying Dutchman, and you heard him. He had a little bit of nerves. He's like, we were gonna lose. Until Vogan's like, calm down, stick to the plan, we'll be okay. And sure enough, they pulled this one off, coming back in Game 5, stabilizing, and moving on. They are top 4 in the world.
Oh yeah, Dogu, he had 7 goals of the 12, but he had incredible saves too, because he was that third man back. And hats off to Vogan. He actually had a lot of good assists off the wall. And the one demo play he had for, I believe it was a Dogu goal, he was all over the place as well. But Dogu just was crazy.
Of course, the theme of today, at least the first 3 matches, is North America versus Europe. Ladies and gentlemen, coming up next is going to be Flipside Tactics versus Exodus. Of course, Flipside Tactics considered the best team in the world coming in. I think a lot of people put them at number 1, but both these teams are in the lower bracket. The loser will be out. Stay tuned. We'll be back with more of the RLCS International Final.